Now, Ben, you have a story about posting on Facebook and kind of receiving some backlash when you were putting yourself out there, sharing a little bit about your faith. And you are an evangelist, and so you are constantly running events and writing books and talking about Jesus. But when you put this post out, you got some backlash that I think was kind of interesting. Can you share that story?
Yeah, I mean, I get backlash all the time about evangelism, and there's people that say to me, oh, you know, you shouldn't really be doing this, and you shouldn't be telling people that they need Jesus, and that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And that's just par for the course as an evangelist. You're going to get that feedback. But I think the average person, the average Christian, is also started to get that kind of feedback on things that they post on Facebook. And I've had that happen to me. I posted something up one time where I basically just said, hey, look, I'm interested to know what methods of gospel communication people use, you know, for spiritual laws or Jesus at the door. What kind of methods do you use to help people understand the gospel? Let me know. And lots of my Christian friends jumped in and told me those methods. But a few of my non-Christian friends jumped in and basically were like, look, why are you asking this question? Why are you so obsessed with making other people believe the same things that you believe? Just let people live the lives that they want to live. And of course, Christians are worried about posting stuff up for coming across as being too pushy or too preachy, and the kind of responses that will come back to them as they post those things. So the question then becomes, just like we've been hearing in those clips, should we actually be engaging in this stuff? Is it okay? Is it ethical? Or should we just kind of let God do what God's going to do and let people live the lives that they want to live?
Yeah, and that really leads us to the question, why does this myth exist? And we've discussed if it's people who determine whether evangelism is ethical or God. So who determines whether evangelism is ethical or not? People or God? Because like you were saying, Ben, your friends were saying, hey, let us live our lives. Don't force your beliefs on us. And we've talked about the great irony in this mindset that if people are determining whether evangelism is ethical or not, it's kind of self-refuting to say, you should just let people live how they want to live, because that is in itself a belief and a worldview, right?
Right, exactly. You're basically telling me to do something that you yourself are not doing. You're saying, let people live how they want. And I'm like, well, I'd like to live in a way that I can let other people know about Jesus. Except like that. You can't do it like that.
Except like that, yeah.
Except like that, yeah. So these statements are kind of often self-refuting and not necessarily that well thought through. And so, you know, I understand why people might have concerns and why people want to be like, oh, just live and let live. But ultimately, it doesn't work, because God sets the standard. If we truly believe that God is the creator of all things, then it's God that sets the moral standard. And actually, the fact that we need the gospel is precisely because we've broken God's moral standard in the first place.
Yeah, you know, and I think in this day and age, in many ways, if we feel uncomfortable, if we feel uneasy about something, we label it wrong, you know, or unethical. And in this conversation about evangelism is unethical, we are saying that it's not people who determine whether evangelism is ethical or not, it's God. And so just because something's uneasy, we can't let our emotions determine whether something's right or wrong. So if God is the one determining whether evangelism is ethical or not, we need to look at what the Bible says.
Absolutely, and we need to realize that there might be different reasons why different people are saying it's unethical. What part of it are you actually saying is unethical?